Hi, Douglas Watkins here, your high school science curriculum specialist. And I just wanted to share with you as we begin the year virtually a pretty good list of DPS and outside resources that I want you to know are available to you for preparing for online instruction. So here's this remote learning resources for high school science. And in the first area here, we've got DPS specific resources, and I'll kind of share with you a brief overview of each of these. There's high school science resources, and this really is a good place to start if you want something to help you with unit planning. So um, here are some very specific new things that are available this year because we're doing distance learning. And there's some high school science virtual learning considerations document, some planning for online learning resources, and sample Schoology lesson for an iHub biology virtual adaptations. You can join the Schoology course here. This is also available at Teal Day on the Teal Day agenda as an asynchronous session, as are both of these, which are an overview or a walkthrough of the virtual adaptations we've made for chem, physics, and earth science, as well as for iHub Bio. Down here for your internalization process, almost every protocol I've ever seen, regardless of which one you're using, you'll either start with the standards and an assessment or just with an assessment. And so you can use, if you're teaching earth science, chemistry, or physics, to help you internalize your units to prioritize your instruction. Here are some links to the normal scope and sequences along with the normal unit assessments that we have available for each of these. Now, these are different than the DPS semester and end of course assessments. If you want to see how to find the questions that are on there and the standards to which they're aligned, then I reference both of those in these two Schoology courses up here. So that's, and then just some other normal resources down here. Schoology remote learning resources. This is a really good like 2-pager. Has a lot of different groups that you can go in and some just page information. Finally, this Schoology remote learning collaboration group is really, really informational. When you use this code right here to join this group, you come down to the resources, and there are a ton of resources. Just want to highlight here copying materials from groups to courses. That's, you'll need to know how to do that in order to take advantage of where I would direct you is this Denver Online course sharing. So our colleagues at the Denver Online High School, I mean, this is what they do all the time is remote learning, virtual learning, even though they do follow a hybrid model. So we've got for science, we have a lot of, they've been generous enough. Erica McIntosh and Susan Nelson, thank you so much at DOHS. They have all these high school science courses that are up here as just folders of resources. And so you go back to this copying materials from groups to courses. So look at that and then find a group or find a folder of a course that you'd like to make your own, and then you can do that. Okay. Next up on this resource, this is a list of like a lot. I'm talking hundreds of different resources. So it's overwhelming. So take it whenever you have like some time. Go ahead and open these up one at a time and just look at them. This one's pretty simple. It's just some Pasco stuff, right? But the next two are pretty huge. So collection of online science resources. This is like a nationally available. I forget who put this together, but you can filter it by subject. and then it's got website URLs and a description of what it is. This is like a lot of simulation. So if you're trying to take your normal lesson sequence that you usually use and make it work virtually, then one, I would suggest looking at how I would do that, just as one way in one of those Schoology courses, specifically like the iHub Bio Virtual Adaptation walkthrough. And then you could do the same kind of thing for your lesson sequence by utilizing one of these simulations as an authentic way for students to engage in that work. So, I mean, there's like, I forget how many here. There's a lot here, okay? And then there's another compilation of free resources that NSTA or Maine Science Teachers Association has put together. And you get the idea. Here's another compilation by NSTA. So when you have time, just go through those and find stuff that works good for you. So I do want to highlight the newest addition to this reference page, which is the iHub Bio Virtual Adaptations Schoology course. And there's a welcome video here that kind of just identifies the outcomes of the course. And so what I did was I took the virtual adaptations that a lot of your colleagues, we got together over the summer and adapted all 3 units of the iHub biology course. And so I took one lesson and put it together, like how it could be done. There's some other iHub collections of adaptations that have been done nationally that are linked in there. Here are some things to consider resources, and Erica McIntosh sat down with me and helped me create a list of some really just some like high level things to consider when doing this hybrid learning. Okay, so I would start right here and just, this is not a long list. Okay? All right, finally, I want to highlight 2 of these last 4 resources as really, really powerful. And this is put out by NYU, I believe. It's a guidance on culturally responsive sustaining remote education. So this is like, how do I sustain my cultural responsiveness during remote education? It's a lot. It's difficult. This is a really good reading, so I would read it, or I recommend reading it. And then really powerful to me was how they broke down at the last couple pages here, like what do teachers need to know? What do families need to know? What do school leaders need to know? What do students need to know? What should teachers be doing? And so on. So take a read through that, pull from it what you find that resonates with you, and that, or maybe some things that you hadn't thought of before. I think there's some really, really good suggestions in there. Finally, OpenSciEd has worked over the summer to collaboratively design some resources to help with facilitating virtual learning. And this is mainly for any of you using storyline curriculums. So iHub Bio, any of you iHub Chem piloters, any of you iHub Physics / BSCS Physics piloters this year, this is for you. Or if you're using like next gen storylines resources, those are storyline curriculums, and these are designed for those. So there's a webinar that you can watch, and that would be good for anybody, storyline curriculum user or not. So just staying grounded. Here's a remote learning tool, online tool organizer. And then this is where it becomes specific to those of you who are using storyline curriculums, because these are like the routines embedded in those curriculums. So how do you lead an anchoring phenomena routine while we're teaching remotely? How do you use the navigation routine? How do you support student discourse? Uh, how do you engage in the problematizing routine? And here's some additional resources. So even if you're not using a Storyland curriculum, you'll find some of this, well, actually a lot of it pretty useful. Okay. I hope you find some of those resources useful, and I'll put up on the screen the link to this overall document here.